Alrighty, welcome to the Peak Podcast. Today we're bringing you another exciting episode with somebody that's very close to where I grew up. It is Penny Pearl. She is the founder of 2Actify, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about what she's doing, how she got to where she is, and maybe some actionable tips. So without further ado, let me bring her on. Penny, welcome to the Peak Podcast. How are you?
Thank you. Doing great. Really excited to be here and to talk with your audience.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great to have you here. I love your background, by the way. So anybody watching, check out. Is this like a wood cabin, or tell me more about where you're at? I know you're in Nevada City, right?
Yes, we're in the
Okay.
Sierra foothills between Sacramento and
Beautiful.
Tahoe. So it's a log home, and we've been here, I can't believe it, for 25 years.
25 years, man. And anything with the fires? Did you get close to any of those recent? The one like 2 years ago, right? The one that went into Tahoe?
Yeah, no, we're about an hour drive.
Okay.
But we're part of a Firewise community, and you just never know, but you do have to stay diligent.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's some scary stuff. And so let's jump in. I'm excited to talk to you and your knowledge, and just taking a glance at the site. Tell me more about, well, how long have you been doing 2Actify?
About 11 years now.
No way.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Amazing. So give us the cliff notes. Give us the elevator pitch, what it is. Tell the audience, again, just what it is.
Okay. What we do is we work with executives, leaders, primarily technology leaders or operations leaders, though I've served many other professions such as marketing and project management, things like that. But we help them develop a career strategy so that they're looking for the long term on what their career trajectory could look like. And so that they don't fall into the trap of applying online just like everybody else. We focus on strategic networking and promoting their value proposition through very strategic communication so that they create a demand for what they can do and find hidden opportunities.
That's amazing. How would somebody find you? How would they know what they're looking for versus going down a traditional route?
Well, the way they'd find it is, first of all, they have to have a desire to invest in doing something differently so that they're not getting in line with everybody else.
Sure.
Early career seekers, mid-career seekers, they have demonstrated their leadership. And so instead of just relying on what their company provides them in terms of leadership, if they know where they're going, what they want to do next, then I can show them via a system how to get there. And
got it.
Yeah, so
cool.
I post all the time. Primarily, you see us on LinkedIn because that's where a lot of our decision makers are. So I post all the time and have worked with many executives in very notable companies.
Wow, how cool. Define strategic networking. I was curious. That was a buzzword that stuck out in my head. Give me more information on that.
Okay. I find it really funny because most people say, "Ugh, I can't stand networking. I feel really uncomfortable. I don't know what to say."
Sure.
And quite frankly, that's why a lot of times people don't get results from networking. An executive loses his position, a job maybe after 20 years of being in a high status position in his company, and all of a sudden he's alone. He doesn't know what the next steps are in looking for his next gig.
Sure.
And also for the future, like where does he want to be in 10 years?
Okay.
So what most people do is they'll post on LinkedIn, "Hey, everybody, I lost my position. I'm looking for something. If you know of somebody, then please connect us or introduce me." So that's not very effective, and that sounds like everybody else.
No.
Strategic networking is really where you go to the people that know you, they have worked with you, they know what you can contribute, and you communicate in a very strategic conversation, knowing that you want that outcome to be an introduction to somebody who is in a hiring position, or
Sure.
somebody who can refer you to a friend of theirs they play golf with, as an example.
Mm-hmm.
And you can effectively promote the value and impact that you have offered to the company or companies you've been working for. But a strategic conversation isn't just calling somebody up and reconnecting. It's
Okay.
knowing what you want as an end result,
Mm-hmm.
and then steering the conversation via initially a very squiggly line, which gets better with practice, but steering the conversation to being able to ask for what you need. And if you do it
Mm-hmm.
really well, that individual is going to say, wow, Eli, you're really good at that. You've had a lot of impact at your company.
Yeah.
There are some people in my network that I want to introduce you to.
Yeah.
So that's a
Got it.
strategic conversation. Both people
Okay.
win, by the way. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. It's really it's interesting how like our worlds have collided, at least in that sense. We work with a lot of people in that like transitional period where they are, whether it's a new career, whether the entrepreneur potentially lost their startup, or they have been acquired, and now this kind of identity of like, I was an entrepreneur, now I got to go start something else, or I got to go find a job. So I see and I hear those kind of similarities like almost every day with what you're talking about. I had a really good question for you, and I had it down here. You know, when I look at, today's shift in from COVID with how did that kind of like strategic networking part, or helping people like strategize differently with their career plan and their career growth, did that change at all in the last couple of years, based on like strategies and tactics that you help coach around?
Well, I can tell you that teaching people that networking is good
Mm-hmm.
and it's really important to do it right,
Sure. Yep.
is easy and fun, which it is. But for many people, it's an uphill battle,
Okay.
because sometimes you're taking a person who's been doing something at a company where they've had a lot of impact. They're recognized for their leadership. They're a
Yep.
known entity. They have a lot of resources and a lot of connections. And all of a sudden, they're in a position where they need to change the way they do things, and they're alone. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that's the service that we offer, so that they can
Gotcha. Okay.
rely and be reminded of the value that they have. When pertaining to COVID,
Mm.
there were a lot of individuals that had to switch from being around a lot of people to now
Mm.
relying on doing a really bang up job online. And I can tell
True.
you that I've worked with a lot of technology leaders, maybe say a VP of engineering.
Yeah.
So many times in that profession, networking and the communication skills is
Mm-hmm.
really even more challenging for them. So now they have to do it online, and they have to keep a team motivated and coach their team so that they can continue business. And that's one of the areas that I focused on during that time period, so that you feel confident, you're able to
Gotcha.
promote your value, you're able to lead individuals who are very uncomfortable also, and motivate them to get the job done.
I see.
So that was a skill that was really needed during COVID-19.
Man, so true. So
Yeah,
true. And how
yeah,
cool is it that you guys can step in and be that support? That's very, very cool.
yeah.
Penny, tell me more about the STAR method. I was on the
Sure.
site. Tell me more about that and how that, because we always kind of look for, and our audience is kind of clamoring for any type of tactical takeaways from podcasts.
Mhm,
I mean, that's what they're looking for, and
mhm.
then eventually and hopefully come over and talk to you. But break down the STAR method for us.
Okay.
and how that applies to interviewing.
Sure. Okay, so STAR stands for describing a situation, the tasks, the actions, and the results.
Mm-hmm.
And telling a story in a behavioral interview, how you deliver
Mm.
your story using a method which is high level,
Yeah.
strategic, but also provides an opportunity for an individual to get a response. And a lot of the
Gotcha.
large companies, when they have a behavioral interview, what they'll tell you is to prepare for it. And so a lot of my clients would prepare for that interview using like an Excel spreadsheet. They'd have a story and then they'd apply it to different areas. So you'll also do storytelling while you're networking. And
Exactly. That's
it's
huge.
applicable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's face it, an interview is your golden opportunity to get what you've been
It
looking
is.
for, a job
It
offer,
really is. Yep.
right? So we have 2 product launches going on now.
Okay.
One is the STAR method. It's an AI tool that gives you immediate response to delivering a story and tells you what you're missing and what you need to do, as if you had a person responding to you. You can,
Whoa.
yeah, it's unbelievable. It really is. You can pick
No
your
way.
coach, a stern person or a really
Oh,
friendly
yeah.
person, and the voice, and it'll be a very conversational exchange where you're getting feedback, which most people don't get in an interview. You think you did well, but you never find out why you didn't get a call back, right?
So
So,
true.
yeah, so
Wow.
this allows a person to practice, and it's part of an online course that we're offering called the Best Career Strategy Course Ever,
Okay.
which is it's all about communication skills. It's not about the buttons to
So
push
true.
on LinkedIn. It's about how to communicate your value proposition and deliver that and connect the dots
Mhm.
for the listener so that they understand at the end of the meeting what you're really good at. And you're always going to be addressing how it applies to a particular job. So
So true.
those 2 combined, I really think are going to enhance an individual's skill in not only going out there and looking for people to network with that are the right people, talking with hiring managers, but also nailing the interview and getting job offers, plural, so that you're in charge and you get to have choices.
I love that. You become the buyer, right? You have the decisions, you have the power. You're not the seller, you're the buyer.
Exactly.
Yep,
Absolutely.
exactly.
How
Yeah,
much?
I love that. I think that's really powerful what you said. I believe everybody has a unique ability, and there's only one person with that DNA ever, and has been and ever will be with that DNA and that unique talent, whatever that is. And
Oh,
in
yeah.
order to convey that, I believe it does take a lot of trial and error. And if you can
Mm-hmm.
bypass that and find the highway, like using a tool and program like yours, and with your experience, I think that's an amazing, amazing thing for the audience. How did you
Yeah.
get into this? How did you get into this, Penny? I mean, tell me more about, I mean, I'm really intrigued on how did you get into it 11 years ago? And what was that like aha moment for you?
Uh, well, when I started to talk with some graduates, college
Okay.
graduates, and my own daughter
Okay.
at the time was going to school, and there were a couple of professors that wanted to help their students get a job,
Okay.
but they didn't really know how to use LinkedIn or how to do that. So having gone through coaching certification, I decided initially to pursue higher education, which is very bureaucratic, getting
Yeah.
through that. But ultimately, I felt students really had a need to learn some of these skills because when they go to college, they're all applying online. They're trained, apply online, apply online. That's a very reactive way to look for a job. So instead, I taught being proactive. And today, it's been 8
Cool.
years. I have been working with Rutgers University for their biomedical scientists as part of their career readiness program, and have trained hundreds of students there, because many of them are ready to leave academia and go into business.
Yep. Wow.
So I started there, and
Okay.
then I expanded to working with executives, leaders,
Yep.
and found out just through experience that that lonely feeling they have
Oh, yeah.
when leaving a position of importance and going out to look for their own job, they follow the pack and they apply online.
Yeah.
And they have a lot to share in terms of their skills and their experience. Sure. So building on that is really what was needed. And, just sometimes finding somebody who's willing to invest in that career growth,
Yeah.
which has a very fast return on investment, is challenging. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't invest that way. Sure. In their career. You and I, who are entrepreneurs, we're investing all the time, right?
All the time. All the time. All the time.
Yes.
Well, that's cool. I love how you got your foothold in the industry kind of at that level. My initial thought was like partnering and pairing up with the universities and helping that career track for people coming out of school. Because I went to Chico State. That's where I graduated from. Love the school, love the business program. I think it's the best business program around, because they put you in situations where you have to interact, network, learn to tell your story, and be unique. And they teach you to like get out of the books and get out there. And they put you in simulated environments. So, right. But one thing that it would have been really cool to have something like your tool coming out of school for the non kind of entrepreneurial type that wanted to look for a career path and try to fast track that. So that's very, very cool.
On that topic, I do want to tell you that I remember a quote that a college graduate said to me. He said, "I've been to the career centers. My professors are telling us all to get out there and networking, but nobody tells us exactly how to network." Exactly. And that just stuck with me. So that's exactly what I help my clients with. Not just go out and do it, but the steps, the mindset that you need in order to do it well and very strategically, so that the parties that you're talking with feel important and needed, they win, and you also win, because you're going to help one another. Totally. But you do it with strength and leadership.
Love it. Love it, love it. Well, as we come up on time here, Penny, what would you tell the audience is kind of one actionable tip today? Some small nugget that you feel is most impactful that they can go and implement in the next week to 2 weeks. Is there something there that comes to mind?
Yes. I would say to think about the individuals that are your first degree connections. Okay. That, because you always want to go back to the people that you know first. For sure. And get a conversation going, but have a goal at the end of the conversation, and see if you can make it to that goal, which is you can introduce them to somebody that would be a good resource for them for a job or a project that they're working on, and also be ready to ask them to reciprocate, to tell you who in their network would they recommend that they can introduce you to.
So cool. That's great advice. Well, amazing. Penny, as we wrap up here, where can people find you? Where can they reach out to you if they want to get in touch with your program?
Okay. We have a website. It's the number 2, actify.com, toactify.com. The root word is take action, because that's what this program requires. And we have our programs listed there. And my email is Penny, PENNY, @toactify.com.
Amazing.
So that's the best place. Yeah.
Perfect. We'll put all that in the show notes, guys, so you can take a look at it there. Remember to find the episode at peakfulfillmentcoaching.com. You'll see it there, along with anywhere else the podcast is posted. So, Penny, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time.
You asked really good questions, and I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate being able to talk about what we do for our clients.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so
Mhm.
much. Can't wait for our next episode. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much again for being here at the Peak Podcast. Another amazing episode with Penny. Check out the show notes. Check out her website. Check out her programs. She's passionate. She loves what she does. And those are the kind of people that we talk to here at the Peak Podcast. So like and subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next episode. See ya.